Hi, welcome. Pardon me. So, all right, let's get started. So it's Tuesday evening. Today is July 28th. It's 2020, and I'm glad you're here. One thing I'll mention right away is that I do send out a weekly email now that kind of puts out what we're going to study this week. And if you want to, if you're not on that email list, you could send me an email and I can get you on that list. So it's at nancy@boleryoga.com. And it's just, it gives a longer description and it's informative. Some of the stuff I put on there, I don't mention during this class. Yeah, there's other, uh, yeah, just other information. So, what I mentioned for this week is how when we do practice, yoga practice, that we do bring a lot of awareness to our bodies and our bodies work. And we want to make sure that this is not just a superficial practice and that we're actually working on not just a physical, how do I get my body to do this pose, but we're really looking closely at our relationship with our body. This can have such an effect of noticing just how we develop relationships, any relationship, and that the one then with our body is very personal. And one thing I put in my email was one way you can do this is that there's an actual exercise you could do by looking in the mirror. I don't know how much time you spend looking in the mirror or what happens when you look in the mirror. So we can do this as a practice of really deeply seeing ourselves. So I put a little link in my email this week of doing this as an actual yoga practice or a mindfulness practice. So I'm going to drop back to this book, Skill in Action, how Michelle Johnson, I just love how she puts forth this task of creating a just world through our yoga practice. I mean, that seems like, oh man, wow, I really, I have to do that. Uh, but she also says in this book that this book explores liberation for ourselves and others, whether that manifests as activism, volunteer work, or changing our relationships with others and ourselves. So I love the scope of that, how we definitely have to do this inner work and not have an inner battle going on with our own bodies. So we could then, as we're doing this work, this is a beautiful time to listen and notice that the body is constantly giving you information or even guiding you of like how to feel deeply, how to interact in a way that just really feels right to your core, really comfortable and right. So the body can be that kind of sounding board for us. Like, okay, I feel like I want to say something. How does it feel? Like just physically in your body. So, another thing we can reflect on is that as we're exploring being comfortable in our own bodies, being comfortable in our own skin, that this comfort is not due to, having a body that's seen as perfect according to our current beauty standards in the world. But rather, this is a real comfort that's due to this liberation from current superficial beauty standards. um, and more about a deep respect for our bodies. We're more interested in doing no harm. And there's a lot of those phrases we can go back to in our practice. Both yoga and meditation teachings have all had this foundation: doing no harm. No harm in our actions, how we do our yoga, no harm in our inner speak, how we're talking to ourselves. And you might say, hey, Nancy, we've talked about this before. And it's true. But it's like part of just the noble practice of these truths of doing no harm that we go back to again and again and again. So can we listen? Can you listen to your body without getting lost in the body, getting lost in, disappointment? It's so easy to get lost in that disappointment, or even what Tara Brach calls that. She calls it the trance of unworthiness. In our yoga practice, I kind of feel it like in this trance of disappointment. Like, I can't do this pose either, or this one really isn't good enough. I'm not quite satisfied. So let's see how this all plays out and what happens when we have this deep intention. We undertake this training to do no harm. And because when we connect with our own ability to do this in its own inner landscape, it contacts us right with the greater humanity. So, and it gets harder to actually judge anyone. So let's go ahead and start. Today, we're going to do a really gradual build to a pose called dancer pose, Natarajasana. So we're going to start in child pose. Go ahead, move to your mat and arrange your bones in the position of child pose, which is often thought of as like, oh, comfortable, easy. But it's actually a little bit demanding of the body in this pose. If your child pose is ever uncomfortable, you can always flip onto your back. So as you go into child, you can start to breathe. And again, if there's anything, especially deep in your joints, that starts to hurt, then you just go onto your back side and you just gently draw your knees into your chest. Like, let's say you have a knee that is suddenly tender or healing, then you could just let that one leg relax down or straighten. Close your eyes and breathe into your body. So you might feel here right away these normal ways that you relate to your body. Like, what are the typical things that come up? Because as we move beyond the superficial awareness, it actually moves us past the form, the shape of the body. And you really start to feel deep inward. And maybe even name what is happening in your body. Like, is there any pain or any kind of quirks in your body today? And you could call them what they are. They're your gurus, they're your teachers today. And then bring yourself up to all fours. And just start to move through your cat and cow movement. Nice, full, deep breath. Give the body some time to really start to warm up, and gradually this starts to loosen. I think of it as how you're breathing. It's like your whole body could imagine kind of that image of a dry sponge, and how as you breathe, like gradually the sponge, kind of softens and you can start to move. I'm remembering last week's class how we drank water. We made sure that you're hydrated. That's part of the air and the water that we need for to prepare the body to do these yoga poses. As you keep going with this cat and cow, just go ahead and add, we're going to move the legs also. So reach the right leg back, you move into your cow pose, big inhale. And then as you exhale, you move to your cat and pull your knee forward. Just do that. Let's do that 5 times on the right side. Smooth, steady pace. There's no haste. After you do 5, you just move to the left side. So remember, you're connecting to the body as it is right now. So we maintain this reflective quality. Like, what is happening right now? What is unique about the body today? Really name this. Maybe it's physical, maybe it's just a feeling of your energy or your attitude today that can have an impact. And after you've done your 5 on that left side, take yourself to downward facing dog. Really intentionally opening through the hands, spreading the fingers, pressure the weight on your hands, and how you can choose where you're bringing your weight. And same with your feet. And as you're pressing your feet down, you are choosing, where am I bringing the weight? Spreading your toes. Moving to your plank pose. And then from here, you could do just a little bend of your elbows, like into that Chaturanga Dandasana where you bend and then you push back up and you go to your down dog. So this is a little option here to start to wake up that strength from your plank pose, the little bend of the elbows, and you push back up, back to your down dog. Let's just do 3 more of those. Explore any degree of the elbow bend where you stay relatively planky with your body. And then moving to standing. Walk the feet forward. Up, ground your feet, reach the arms way out. So let's move into that half sun salutation. And we'll do 5 of these also. So this is where the arms come up. You take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, you go all the way over to your forward bend. But then you lift up to your flat back. You could take your hands, just sweep the hands up the front of the legs. Forward bend as you exhale. Come on up, push into the feet, inhale all the way up. And then take palms together in front of the heart. And then you inhale, the arms come all the way up. Arms way out to the side, your forward bend. So you could play with that arm position when you lift your flat back. For some people, you could keep your fingertips touching as you lengthen on that inhale, and then you exhale, forward bend all the way over. Inhale, coming up. The exhale, palms together in front of the heart. And that inhale, arms up. Forward bend. If you want a little more work, you could reach your arms out to the side. You go to your flat back. Then you exhale, full Uttanasana. Inhale comes up. Palms together in front of the heart. Exhale, take 2 more of these, your own pace. And listen to your body. You want to give a little space for like yogi's choice. This is where the yoga really starts, where tuning in how your body wants to explore this today. Doing no harm. The sense of even joy and delight as you move into some challenging poses. not having to appear a certain way. As you're finished with your five, you'll take your arms can come down to your sides and just move right into your tree pose. You can do any variation however you want to. Balancing on your right leg, taking that left leg, and notice how, oh, this is kind of call a hip opener, with that left leg because the leg is now going to rotate. Really get into that action of rotation. We could bring in that quality of contentment. This is one of the niyamas in the yoga tradition. Cultivating contentment. Is it possible? Be aware of your whole body. Liberate your breath. Really feel that the breath can flow. Stay as tall as you can get as you let go of this and as you just switch to your left side. Check it out. Balance on left leg. Vrikshasana. Get into like the nuances of how this feels today. So you can name them. Oh, this is happening. Huh. And whatever is happening, that it's neither good or bad, it's just the way it is. This is what happens when we move beyond the form of the pose. It's like, good or bad, it doesn't really make sense. It's just what's happening right now in the body. So the breath is free, doing no harm, and just seeing the goodness. Standing leg firm and strong. Throat is soft. Stay tall as you let go of this. And as you bring both feet down, we'll just kind of roll through a sun salutation all the way over to your forward bend. Move back to your downward facing dog. Maybe sharpen this pose, legs straight, arms straight. That kind of pull through the spine. Breathe into the ribs, like your rib cage is expanding in all directions. Move to your plank. So keeping the legs very engaged and firm and strong. As you lower down here, you could do that little pause in your Chaturanga Dandasana, where elbows are bent, hover. And then lower down, legs go back, move to your cobra pose. Breathe, feel like that upper space of the chest really opening, widen across the chest. Briefly, Sphinx pose. The forearms come down and you kind of pull your chest forward a little bit more. Lengthen and lift up through your spine. Even your throat really open. The middle of your back, the mid back pulls in. And then as you let go of this, move right back to down dog. Your hands slide way back. Shoulders draw back as you lift up to your down dog, that deep, sharp angle in the hips. Lift the heels up and step your right foot forward. As it steps up, we're going to move right to warrior one. So back foot drops down, heel drops down, lift up. As you ground your back foot, back leg straight, lift your navel, arms come up. So can we do this self-study? In a way, it's like looking in a mirror. Can we look really closely, intimately, and explore, is there any tension, any strain, any judgment, self-criticism we could move beyond? So arms are going to go out to the side here and take your hands behind you. So let's just interlace the fingers behind. Straighten both legs. Pause. And we'll move to the pose of Parshvottanasana. So the hands, your arms are going to switch so that you hold your elbows. But if you hold your elbows or forearms, stay wide across your chest. So you're not suddenly like rounding your shoulders forward. So you could take even just move back to interlacing your fingers if that keeps that widening across your chest. And then your forward bend. So legs are really strong here. Lengthen out over that front leg. Breathe, feel. And then bend that front knee. Reach the arms out to the side. Go back to your warrior one. This little back bend through the spine. Real deep opening of the front of the body. Reach up through fingertips. Good. And then as the arms reach out to the side, you lean forward. Now, as you move back to your tree pose, we're going to play a little bit, taking that left leg. Now, you could also bring that left foot to the inner calf, to the inner thigh, or we could move it into this Padmasana variation where you hoist your leg up, you grab your left ankle, now lift it up, and then keep that left foot right at your right hip crease. Hold the foot there as you start to reach your left knee down towards the floor. Now it's good to make sure you kind of lift your navel here and you're not drooping through your spine. So lift up, stay tall, reach your left arm up. Make sure you're not then sinking in your right hip. So the full tree pose, reach that left knee down. So the left foot is kind of pushing on the top of the right thigh, that groin area. Slowly releasing. Left foot comes down. Arms sweep up, push into your feet. And then palms together in front of your heart. Arms sweeping up. Reaching out, move to your forward bend. Your downward facing dog. Really notice, especially this pose that you've maybe done so many times, maybe for years. So what's your relationship with your body in this pose? Or do you lose interest? Moving to your plank. Move to Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower down. Extend the legs back. Really long, and then lifting to your back bend. So let's go right to your Sphinx pose, the chest forward. So just really gradually exploring the back bend. Clear perception, really honest with how this feels today. Now lengthen and lift your legs. Reach arms back to Shalabhasana. Releasing, moving to your down dog. Heels lift up, your left foot steps forward. Move to warrior one. So back right foot dropping. Push straight down into your feet. So back leg straightening, tailbone draws in. Breathe, feel like really heavy and grounded. But as you're breathing, there's this lightness lifting upward. Arms reaching out to the side, straighten both legs, take the arms behind you. So you could either interlace your fingers, you could grab your elbows or forearms, and actually the classic pose here for your arms, hands, would be to take your reverse namaskar position, with your palms together. So, if you were to do that, what a great moment to listen to your body and just be really crystal clear. Is this working or not working? Is this doing harm? So, choosing, letting wisdom of the body guide you, forward bend. Hinging at the hips, reaching the chest forward, staying grounded, maybe kind of gradually into this. Deep strength of the legs. And then there's that bend of the left knee as you come up. Push into your back heel. You release the arms out to the side. Your warrior one again. Breathe. Feel that lift up for your spine. And then as your arms go out to the side, we'll do this variation of tree pose. Balance. So we always have these options of the yogi's choice. We always have this. Because we're doing yoga, that means we're being guided by what the body is telling us. If it's okay, lift the right shin, your right ankle up. There's going to be a lot of sensation in that right hip. And then you could hold maybe just with your left hand eventually as that right foot stays up, kind of nestled in your left hip crease. Start to reach your right knee down without collapsing or kind of shrinking. So you get a little taller. And that's why I like to reach the right arm up. Just to feel like, oh yeah, I'm lifting up. So this position through the right leg is Padmasana, is that lotus position with the right leg. Gradually letting go. As that right foot comes down, arms come up, push into your feet, lift the chest, look up, and then take palms together in front of the heart. Pause. So we are kind of building our full body back bend here. That will prepare us to do Natrajasana, that dancer pose, which is a balance pose. So we'll just keep kind of working towards that. Arms come up. There's that forward bend, long spine. Moving back to your down dog. So really get into that kind of pull, lengthening through the spine here. As you move to your plank. Keep the legs firm, strong as you even just slowly lower down to the floor. As you land. So this back bend, the back bends that we practice here, could be very informative, like of how your body feels today as it's back bending. Move into your Shalabhasana. Reach the arms back. Lift the legs. And just see what happens as you move to Dhanurasana here, your bow pose. Could you bend your knees without dropping your thighs down? Could you actually lift your thighs up as you grab your feet? So, how does that feel? Take note. Like lift your thighs way up here. Breathe. How does your spine feel? Hips feel. Maybe this is stretching through your quads. And that will factor in your big dancer pose. Or how this feels in your shoulders. That the bow pose, like feeling kind of that stretching, that length through your arms. And as you release, back to down dog. Close your eyes, breathe here. Lift the heels way up, that right foot stepping forward. And begin your warrior one, because this is a little variation of like a great big full body back bend. Great prep pose. And then the arms go to the side. So we're going to balance again on your right leg, but just holding your left foot. So grab left hand, hold left foot, right arm could go up, and you're just reaching that left leg straight down now. See if there's really, any pain. If this is a really intense stretch for your left quads, like if there's that very deep, tight hip flexors in the left leg, you might be aware that's going to affect any depth of dancer pose. And just releasing, just bring that left foot down, push into the feet, arms come up, lift the chest, look up, palms together in front of the heart. Arms coming up, forward bend, down dog, just breath. So how do you know that you're connected and building an intimacy with this present experience? Is you really start to notice some details. Or learning, like, oh, it does take effort to press into my hands. Move to your plank. In any way that if you want to just do that slow lowering or take Chaturanga Dandasana, hover. And as you lower, we're just going to move right again to that Dandasana, that bow pose. Exploring how this really involves the whole body. From your Shalabhasanas, you reach back. Can you bend the knees, grab the feet, lift thighs up. Breathe, feel here. So Make sure knees are not starting to splay out to the side. They reach straight back and the thighs lift. Letting go. Back to your down dog. Keep lots of space in the hips, the lower back. Lift the heels way up, left foot steps forward. So warrior one, right heel, right foot down. As you come up, stay grounded. Pushing down, lifting up. Space to the spine, all the way up to your brain. Breathing, feeling. So there's a distinct connection. I feel grounded. And as you reach the arms out to the side, as you move to this variation of tree, it's kind of like a tree frog as you just simply hold that right foot with your right hand, left arm reaching up. Keep reaching the right knee down without sinking down into your left hip. You actually get a little taller. Slowly release. Right foot coming down. Arms come up. Push into your heels. Lift the whole front of the body. And then take palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to bring the arms down and just give the feet a little space apart. And let's just do a little loose back and forth. Let's just let the spine do a really gentle, fluid twist. It's like we're moving into a dancer pose. So bring in this feeling of I'm connected. You could let the knees really bend here. Spine can move. So we want to get, build that sensitivity. So deeply committed. I am not going to do any harm here. Good. Now, as you let this go, pause. So we're moving to just the formal practice of Natarajasana, dancer pose from a standing pose. So I think I will just do this with you. I'm going to do my right side also. So maybe I'll face to the side. So we're going to take your right hand and just rotate your right palm up. So your right hand is going to kind of scoop and grab your right foot, and it's going to grab the inner. So like when I was balancing, I was holding my outer foot, but now with my palm up, I'm going to scoop and grab my inner foot. like the arch, that inner arch of the right foot. And you could balance here. You could already start to reach that right knee down a little bit and then bring the left arm up. Now from here, we really keep the chest lifted and then start to push your right foot into your right hand. And as you do that, start to reach forward with your left arm. So dancer pose, you're lifting that right thigh up, pushing your foot into your hand. Breathing, you're facing forward. Chest forward, this is a big back bend. Balance. Now practice coming out of this. All the way back up. Tall. And then letting go. This is a good pose for that. Good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end. So let's take the left side. I'm just going to twirl to show. Left hand, you have the palm up. Elbow bent. So as you grab, you kind of scoop that inner left foot, holding the inner foot. Pause here. Really reach that left knee down already. Lift the navel. Right arm comes up. So we want to maintain the length of the spine as you push your left foot into your left hand. And as you push, kind of hinge forward a little bit, reach the right arm forward. As you push your foot into your hand, that back left thigh, left knee lifts up. Patient. Feel whole body. Slowly releasing, coming out of this. Doing your own little dance as you come out. And then both feet down, just pause. So there's a lot of elements to that pose. Let's practice it again. Right elbow bends, right palm is up. Go ahead and scoop and lift your inner right foot. Reaching the right knee down, that left leg really firm as your left arm comes up. So both grounded and spacious. Start to push your right foot into your right hand. Really sense the back bend here and how similar this is to the bow pose. It's good sometimes to just stop and be in the pose you're in, rather than getting caught up in wanting more or better. Let the body choose. Gradually practice coming out of this. So there can be a lot to learn once you let go of the pose. Like, well, how does that feel? Did you push yourself? Were you maybe doing some harm? Left palm up. So anyway, so as you scoop, as you lift that left foot up, let's say maybe it's a wise move to stay here for a little while. Like reach your right arm up. Breathe into this initial pose. And explore just that pushing the foot into the hand, the lift of the chest. Breathing, exploring this kind of complex balance pose. Coming out of the pose as both feet come down. So just ground your feet and go back to that little fluid twist motion. Just letting this move through the spine, back and forth. Just feel fluidity coming in. And then gradually, even you're going to turn on your mat so your feet can start to step further apart. Taking the feet now parallel, wide-legged forward bend, and just move into your big sun breaths here where you inhale, you come up, and you exhale, you go all the way over. And just move and breathe here. Really keep the soles of the feet very open. Next time that you go to your forward bend here, just stay there, drop your head, and do that little back and forth where you bend your right knee a little bit. Breathe, and then you switch. Little bend of the left knee. And you switch. Just go back and forth. Very intentional movement through your leg bones, feeling the muscles. And then coming all the way up, just push right into the feet, come up. Take your feet closer together, just walk together. And then move up towards the front of your mat again. Forward bend. Your down dog. And as you touch your knees down, just move right into a cat and cow action again. As you let this go, move right onto your back. And we'll just do a couple fluid movements on your backside. Take a little twist where we reach the arms out to the side. You bend your knees. Keep your legs together, but lift your feet away from the floor slightly. And we'll just do that back and forth where we drop the knees a little to the right to lengthen through your spine. And then you go up and over, lengthening. Really make sure throat stays soft as you go back and forth. Feeling, that, this definitely takes muscular effort. But there's a lot of space and release of tension deep in the belly and the lower back. Because you can choose the depth that you go into. Like how far are you dropping your knees down? Just explore that back and forth according to if your body feels kind of stiff here, just go gradual, little increments. Breathe through your nose. So again, just that ongoing reflective quality. How am I treating myself right now? Am I getting caught up in the wanting and the craving that happens so easily when we want a certain yoga pose? Let the breath really flow through your nose all the way through your windpipe, to your lungs here. And then just pause right in the center. Drop your feet to the floor. Bring your arms down alongside you and go ahead and just start that really simple bridge pose, the pushing into the feet. Lifting right away. Lift your breastbone a little and just lower down. Keep the soles of the feet very open. Notice that as you lift your butt away from the floor, really feel your feet pressing that tailbone, drawing up, and then you lower down. Breathing, moving. So after the back bends, we need this big fluid motion. Keep that awareness of breath moving through your nose. Around your chest and your upper chest, and how your neck is really relaxed. And then as you pause, as you let that go, just be still for a moment. So we're going to move towards Shavasana, but you could move to the wall and do the pose of legs up the wall. And the reason I bring that up is when you do back bends, when we worked all the way up to dancer pose, I find that the legs up the wall can be great for your lower back after back bends, especially if you do this with a little padding, that softness of a blanket for your pelvis and your lower back to drop into. I'll just go ahead and demo. Really, any lump of soft blanket can really work. Once I have legs up the wall, I can really shift. I can move around, kind of wiggle around, move my blanket. Get closer to the wall if you want. Just an option here. Make sure that you do tuck your shoulder blades under a bit. Let them flatten to open across the chest. Let it be really organic through your arms, like where they go. Whatever pose you're in now, to look even closer. Rather than just thinking like, oh, class is over with. This is such a perfect time to put everything down. It's not always wise to put everything down, but now you're actually practicing it wholeheartedly. This is possible. Be aware of the space around your eyes, softening. All the ways that we're so demanding on ourselves or others. We just let that go. Completely drop the weight of the head. Be aware of your throat. Let the throat soften. Be aware of your back. Let the whole back just release down, just melting down towards the floor. As you do this, you might really naturally just drop the weight of the legs. This is how we practice freedom. This is how we practice non distraction, the knowing, beautiful, full presence. Right here and now, sense your whole body beyond the form. What do you feel like right now? Sense the breath flowing freely within. all the internal rivers flowing, not grasping or holding on to life, just allowing this lawful unfolding. Aware of your belly. Really understanding how the world is that your belly is all wrong. So this is the radical practice of yoga, like connecting to your belly with deep care. I could judge you, but I'm not going to. May I be free of tension. May this lead to freedom around me. Inspire freedom around you as you hold on to that deep practice. Stillness, silence. Even if we experience just one rich moment of freedom, has this unforgettable impact. I tasted this. It's possible. So, as you let go of Shavasana, as you re enter your day, really see this as a beginning. Like, oh, yeah, it's this freshness of the beginning, how we remind ourselves again and again. Ordinary happiness right here and now. Palms together in front of the heart. Taking a deep breath. We'll close with the sound of Om if you want to join in. Deep inhale. Mm. Deep gratitude. Thank you so much for being here, practicing together. Um, so, as a reminder that today I do teach a live stream on Friday here, Common Ground channel. And then Saturday, I do hold a Zoom class, and the Zoom class is from 9 to 11 on Saturday. You do need to contact me to sign up for that. So here it is again. Here's that address, Nancy at boleryoga.com. So you could contact me there if you want to also be on my weekly email. I've been trying to, on Tuesdays, send out an email with, yeah, just thoughts, reflections, little nudges of getting back to the mat and connecting with beautiful practice. Um, and just that little reminder, too, as far as our practice of freely giving, freely receiving, as you enjoy this channel, this YouTube channel, you could always donate, and you could do that through Common Ground, just right at the Common Ground website, commongroundmeditation.org. It will tell you just how to donate. And if you want to, you could, how they suggest is that you could put Yoga with Nancy Boler, and then part of donation goes to me, part of it will support Common Ground. So thanks, Rita Lee and Mackenzie, for your comments and for being here, showing up. Have a beautiful rest of the day.